My phone sat on the counter, face down, like it was watching me. I'm not the kind of person who gets scared easily, but I swear on everything, if you ever buy a used phone from a random stranger, factory reset it the second you get it. I didn't, and I wish I had. It started a few weeks ago. My old phone was glitching bad, and I didn't have the money to buy a new one. So I checked Facebook Marketplace, found this guy selling a recent model for dirt cheap, almost too good to be true. I met him in a gas station parking lot during the day. He barely spoke, just handed me the phone, said it was wiped and good to go. The screen was spotless, battery was perfect. Everything seemed fine until the second night. I was lying in bed, scrolling when I noticed the Notes app icon had a little dot on it, like there was an update or something. I didn't remember opening it before, but I tapped out of boredom. There was only one note. The title was just a date, and inside was a list of names. The first few I didn't recognize, but one line down I saw my name, then my birthday, then my address. I stared at it for a minute, thinking maybe this was some random contact list or something. Maybe the phone didn't reset after all. But something felt wrong. At the bottom of the note, in all caps, it said, marked, do not remove until done. And the last line, watch closely. He stays up late. I live alone. And that night, I didn't sleep at all. I didn't sleep at all that night. I kept checking every lock in my apartment, over and over, until the sun came up. My phone sat on the counter, face down, like it was watching me. I wanted to toss it out the window, but at the same time, I couldn't bring myself to do it. It felt like whatever this was, it had already started. The next morning, I told myself I must have misread it. Maybe it was just a leftover note from the previous owner. But deep down, I knew that was bullshit. The note had my exact name, birthday, address. Even the layout of my apartment was described in a second note that appeared sometime while I was in the shower. Yes, a second note. I hadn't opened the app. I know I hadn't. But when I got out of the bathroom, dripping and still anxious, I saw the icon again had that small dot. A new update. This time the note was titled, Entry 2. It read, Subject has not left home. Paranoia observed. No outside contact. Curtains remain closed. Watching. My blood turned cold. I scanned the room like someone might be standing in it. The air felt heavy. My chest tightened. Someone was watching me. I shut off the phone completely and left the apartment. I took the battery out, just in case, tossed it in a drawer, and grabbed my old cracked phone. I drove to my friend Eric's house across town. Eric's the kind of guy who always says stuff like, "You're just being dramatic." But after I showed him the notes, even he looked uncomfortable. "Dude, this is beyond weird," he said, scrolling through the screenshots I'd taken. "And you said these just showed up without you writing them?" "Yeah," I said. watching the window nervously. He gave the phone a long look. Maybe there's spyware installed, some creepy app or script running in the background. I nodded. That explanation made sense, enough to calm me a bit. So we reset the phone properly this time, fully wiped it, factory default. Then we pulled the SIM, cleared the memory, the whole deal. Nothing survived. The phone was a blank slate again. I should have felt relief. But that night, the phone buzzed. I had turned it on to check something online while watching TV, using Wi-Fi since I'd taken out the SIM. I swear I was only on it for 10 minutes when it happened. A buzz, then another, then a third. 3 new notes. Not messages, not notifications. Notes. I didn't want to read them, but I did. Entry 3. Subject attempted to cleanse device. Reset observed. GPS recalibrated. No effect. Entry 4. Subject expose material to external party. Risk of contamination minimal. No action required. Entry 5. Subject remains unaware of secondary channel. Continue observation. That last line. What the hell was the secondary channel? I turned the phone off again and sat in silence for a long time. I didn't tell Eric about this. I couldn't. I didn't want him involved. He had a kid, a life, and whatever this was, it didn't feel like something you could just reset away. The next few days were strange. I noticed things, little things. A black car parked across from my building with a guy inside, staring ahead, but never getting out. A package left at my door with no return label. Empty, my lights flickering, even though the building never had electrical issues before. Every time I went out, I felt eyes on me. One night, I woke up to footsteps. Inside, not in the hallway, inside my living room. I grabbed the bat from under my bed, amid heart racing, and crept out. Nothing except the smell, like copper, and something rotting, and my phone on the floor, screen glowing. Another note. Entry 6. Subject vulnerable during REM cycle. Entry successful. No resistance noted. Further behavioral logging scheduled. I vomited in the bathroom. The idea that someone had been in my apartment while I slept. It destroyed whatever remaining sanity I had. I didn't go to work. I didn't talk to anyone. I boarded up my windows, changed my locks twice, and barely ate. And then, silence for 4 days. No new notes, no signs. I started to believe it was over, that maybe whoever was behind this had moved on. Maybe resetting the phone worked after all. Then I got a call. No caller ID. I let it go to voicemail. The message was 10 seconds of breathing. Then a whisper. You're not just being watched, you're being processed. That word, processed, like I wasn't even human, just data. I went back to the phone. It had a new app on it now, one I didn't download. Just an icon with a black eye symbol. I tapped it. It opened the camera, but not like normal. It activated the front camera and started recording immediately. At the top, there were 2 words, "Final Phase." I screamed and threw the phone across the room. It shattered against the wall, but the screen didn't break. It just flickered and then came back on. Recording again, I left the apartment. I drove for hours, slept in my car in a Walmart parking lot. I couldn't go home. The next morning, I got a text from my old number, the one I'd used before the new phone. It said, "Where are you going? The next entry's due." I tossed the phone into a river that day. I've changed states. I don't use smartphones anymore. I don't log into anything under my real name. I'm off the grid. But sometimes I still get that feeling, like I'm being watched. Sometimes when I wake up, I swear my door is unlocked, even though I know I locked it. And last week, someone slid a phone under my motel door. Same model, same black eye icon. The home screen already had a note open. Entry 12. Subject relocated. Tracking re-established. I don't know how this ends, or if it does, but if you find a used phone and think you're getting a deal, don't open the Notes app. I couldn't sleep. After what we'd seen, none of us could. We'd all piled into one tent, zipped it up completely, and sat there, backs against each other, flashlights on low. Even Eric had lost his cocky attitude. He was staring down at his phone screen, watching the signal bars flicker in and out like they were mocking him. No service, no way to call for help. Outside, the forest was dead silent. No crickets, no wind, no rustling. It was like something was out there, watching, waiting. The thick, heavy silence felt like it had weight to it. At some point, around 3 a.m., while I was trying to stay awake, I heard something scrape along the outside of the tent. It wasn't loud, just a soft, slow brushing, like fingertips dragging against the nylon wall. Everyone went still. No one said a word. Then, a whisper. I don't even know if it was real or if my mind made it up, but it sounded like a woman's voice, distant and shaky. "Help me." We all heard it. Eric grabbed the pocket knife he'd brought. Jordan turned off the flashlight. We sat in darkness, and then the voice came again, closer. "Please, he's still out here." It sounded like it was right outside the tent. None of us moved. None of us spoke. That's when the zipper started to move. It was slow, like someone was unzipping the front of our tent, inch by inch. Eric lunged forward and grabbed the zipper from the inside, yanking it back up. Then he shouted, "Who's out there?" Silence. Then a laugh. Not a loud, maniacal one, just a small chuckle, soft, like it was mocking us. We stayed in that tent till dawn. When the sun finally broke over the treetops and that cold, damp light filtered in through the canvas, we unzipped the tent slowly and stepped out. The forest was normal again, birds chirping, wind rustling, like nothing had happened. But right outside our tent, carved into the dirt, with what looked like a stick or a knife, were 3 words: don't go home. We didn't stay to find out what that meant. We packed everything we had and hiked back to the car. No breakfast, no coffee, just silent panic as we rushed down the trail, checking behind us every few minutes. I kept expecting to see that pale face again, or that whisper, or worse, someone standing in the distance, just watching. The trail seemed longer going back. At one point, Eric swore he saw someone standing behind a tree. We didn't stop to confirm. We just kept moving. When we finally reached the parking lot, we ran to the car like we were being chased. Jordan jumped into the driver's seat, Eric in the back, me riding shotgun. He cranked the key, and the engine wouldn't start, dead. We all froze. It was like a bad horror movie cliche, but this was real. We were stuck, stranded, in this godforsaken place with no one around and no way to leave. Jordan cursed and banged the steering wheel. What the hell? The battery was fine yesterday. Then we heard it, that laugh again, from somewhere in the trees, this time louder, closer. Jordan didn't waste a second. He jumped out, popped the hood. Eric grabbed jumper cables from the trunk, and we all scrambled like our lives depended on it. Because honestly, it felt like they did. By some miracle, after cleaning off the terminals and reconnecting the battery, the engine roared to life. We didn't waste a second. We tore out of that parking lot, tires screeching, not even looking back. It was only when we hit cell service again, about 20 minutes down the mountain, that I realized something strange. I had a new voicemail. The number was unknown, no caller ID, and the timestamp? 3:27 a.m., right around the time we heard the whisper at the tent. I played it on speaker. It was static at first. Then, that same voice, that same whisper. Don't go home. Click. We all looked at each other. No one said anything. When we got back into town, we agreed to go our separate ways for the night and meet up the next day to talk it out. I barely slept that night. Every creak in my house made me jump. I kept my lights on, every door locked, knife under my pillow. The next morning, I got a text from Jordan. Just 2 words. He's gone. Eric never made it home. His parents said his bedroom was empty. His bed hadn't been slept in. His phone was found in the back seat of Jordan's car, still playing the voicemail on loop. Police were called. A search was launched. Nothing. No trace. No body. Just gone. We tried to explain everything to the cops. The voice, the tent, the message in the dirt. But they looked at us like we were insane. They chalked it up to drugs, or trauma, or post-camping paranoia. A month passed, then 2. No sign of Eric. Jordan moved out of state. He couldn't take it anymore. Said he felt like he was being watched in his own home. Said he kept getting anonymous voicemails, just breathing in whispers. I believed him because I got them too, every few weeks, always from a blocked number, always in the middle of the night, and always ending with the same words. Don't go home. Last week, I got a package in the mail. No return address. Inside was a flash drive. I plugged it into my laptop, and there was only one file, a video. It was Eric. He looked terrified, like he hadn't slept in days. His eyes were sunken, face pale. He was sitting in what looked like a dirty cabin. He spoke into the camera. "If you're watching this, I'm not dead, but I wish I was. There's something in that forest. I don't know what it is. It pretends to be people. It whispers to you, watches you. It follows you home, but it can't enter. Not unless you let it. Not unless you invite it." He paused, then leaned in close to the lens. And I did. The screen cut to black. Then those three words appeared again. "Don't go home." I haven't slept in days, because last night I heard it again. Outside my bedroom window, the whisper, soft, familiar. "Help me." But I know better now. That's not Eric. That's not anyone. That's it. And it's still out there, waiting for me to make one mistake, one slip, one invitation.